Hi, Scrib. I I don't know how captions got that. To be fair, I did have ice cream earlier. I'm just a little bit distracted. How are you today? Let's see, and am I? Yes, it looks like I am, in fact, on the right window. Okay, here we go. I'm just jumping right in. Well, I say I'm jumping right in, but...
以上、報告完了。作戦報告は1分後に各自の端末へと送付しておくわ。全社省エネルギーモードで待機中。警戒システム起動。
That concludes my report. A full report will be sent to everyone's terminal in a minute. Vehicle standing by in low power mode. Security system is activated.
消えた?
It's gone?
そうなんです。でっかいやつ、目の前でシュッって跡形もなく消えちゃったんですよ。
It's gone. That big guy just went whoosh and vanished without a trace just like that. You know, I really am hoping that Colphne's relationship isn't too strained. Though I do have to wonder why she bailed out during the last mission other than... I wonder why she bailed out only to come right back.
ここへ戻る前に周辺の環境を一通り観測してみたの。ブージャムが消えた場所には何の異常も見られなかったわ。
We have surveyed the surrounding area on our way back. There were no unusual readings where the Bujam had disappeared.
異常な点ならあったじゃないですか、隊長。
There was something unusual though, leader. Is Groza going to give her the cold shoulder?
無視しないでくださいよ、隊長。
Don't just ignore me, leader.
コルフェ、今はポートベストでの戦闘状況を報告しているの。
This is a report about our battle at Port Vest, Colphne.
でも本当にあったけどな。
Yeah, but there really was something unusual.
異常というのは?
What do you mean?
地面に草が一本生えてたのよ。まだ咲いてないコーラップスエピフィラムみたいな感じの。
There was this patch of grass on the ground that looked no different from a collapsed epiphyllum outside of blooming season. There were no other epiphyllums around it though, but that was hardly unusual.
単独で分布するコーラップスエピフィラムの形成要因は地形にあると推測されるわ。ポートベストでは珍しいことじゃない。
The sparse distribution of collapsed epiphyllums may have something to do with the terrain. It seems to be the norm at Port Vest.
融合、鈍性と燃焼、根拠のない命。
Fusion, devouring and burning, baseless life. I still have no idea. I still don't have a great handle on what Nemesis actually means. Though to be fair, I don't think she's meant to be understood. Having said that, I wonder if there is a writer on the team that interprets dialogue into what Nemesis is actually saying, and if there is some sort of logic behind it.
ブージャムが
It's the Boojum?
微小な命の種、悲惨、歪曲、オンリー。
Tiny seeds of life, scattered, twisted, fading into the distance.
ネメシス、あんたにも曖昧な物言いをする時があるなんてね。こいつによればブージャムと草は無関係じゃないらしいわよ。なんでも恒常性が変化してるんだとか。
Never thought you'd be uncertain about anything, Nemesis. She says there may be some kind of connection between the Boojum and the patch of grass. Something about a change in its homeostatic mechanisms? So, baseless life, devouring and burning, and being a fusion. Those are sort of descriptions about the Boojum, I guess? Let's see, the uncertainty could be the scattered, twisted part of what Nemesis says. Actually, the scattered, twisted, and fading into the distance. Like she's saying it like it's a long shot, but it could be the tiny seeds of life, the grass, are connected. Okay, so I think Nemesis really has to be interpreted not inductively, not deductively. You can't rule things out with what Nemesis is saying. She's using very poetic speech. You need to do a lot of inference, which is hard as a new player, or in my case, as someone coming back after a long time.
Whoa, 恒常性に変化が。それってコーラプス放射線量異常によるネガティブフィードバック機構障害じゃないですか？
Wow, a change in homeostatic mechanisms. So it could be a breakdown of its biological negative feedback system caused by the collapse radiation level.
コーラプス放射線量異常によるネガティブフィードバック機構障害。それがブージャムを動物形態から植物形態に変化させたというの？
Can the Boojum transform from animal to plant form because of this breakdown of biological negative feedback? Breakdown of biological negative feedback system caused by the collapse radiation level.
そもそも混合型ブージャムみたいな生き物ってとっても珍しいですからね。関連する記録や分析材料も十分にないですし、コルフェンにもよくわかりません。ただ、そうなのかなーって。
Hybrid type Boojums are extremely rare. Without sufficient records or data for analysis, I'm not too sure either. It was pure conjecture.
隊長ってば、コルフェンの長い単語を覚えてくれたんですね。なんだか嬉しくなっちゃいます。
You actually remembered that long string of technobabble I just spouted. It makes me really happy. Let's see. Girls Frontline 2 is...
他に情報があれば作戦報告を補足しておいてちょうだい。ファイルナンバーは 2074-0504A よ。
Girls Frontline 2 is, I think, a continuation of the first Girls Frontline game. I don't know if it has... Are my captions working? My captions are not working. That's not good. At the very least, Girls Frontline 2 is after the story of the first Girls Frontline. You play as a military officer, I think. Though by the start of Girls Frontline 2, you are... What's the term? Discharged, I believe. Either discharged or exiled. I forget what they actually say during the prologue. But the point is, we are no longer military. We are now mercenaries. And these girls are actually androids? They call them dolls in verse. And there are both civilian type and military type. In the original Girls Frontline game, they were all named after their primary weapon. They left that behind for this game, though there are a few returning faces from the previous title that do retain that naming scheme. And right now we're on a job, and I forget the exact plot point, but we're being chased by bandits, I believe, and also we might have a bit of intrigue, political intrigue in the background. The actual government might be paying attention to what we're doing. We're transporting a package which contains a very sleepy little girl who has some very powerful weaponry. I don't believe we have all the details quite yet, although judging by some of the event stories that I've managed to catch, there's definitely some conspiracy shenanigans going on. But that's a lot later. I'm sure at least until maybe the event story comes after chapter 8 or even further down the line. We're currently at the start of chapter 3. So lots and lots of story that we need to catch up on. If you have any more information to add, please include it in the mission report. File number 2074 0504A. The year 2074, May 4th, I believe. Okay, no problem, leader.
混合型ブージャム。そういう面倒なことは尊敬するウラジーミル獣医に任せるとしましょう。何はともあれ、このお高い品を無事に取り戻せたわけだし。
Hybrid type Bujum. We'll leave this troublesome matter to our esteemed warrant officer Vladimir and his subordinates. In any case, you managed to return safely with our precious mission objective. The package I was talking about earlier. Little girl in a box. A triangular prism box that is extremely difficult to break and very much advanced technology.
それからこの箱についてだけど。
Which brings us to the box. Thank you, Groza.
中身は確かに女の子よ。
It does contain a girl.
しかもこの箱、攻撃のできるボールに変形したかと思えば、バリアーグの強そうな機構をあっという間に破壊しちゃったんですよ。
Yep, just as I said. Also, the box can transform into spheres with offensive capabilities. They made short work of the Varjager's impressive-looking mech.
ボール？奪われる前と変わりないように見えるけど。
The box looks exactly the same as it always has. The box looks exactly the same as it has always done. Who translated this? Let's see. You can't handle file numbers? Archiving files all day? Organizing data is a lot of work. I don't blame you if your brain is fried after looking at file numbers all day. I get the same way looking at part numbers at work.
バリアーグの改造機構を倒した後、また箱の形に戻ったの。箱の中の少女は変形する球体に閉じ込められているようだった。
You ever organize inmate files? No, I can't say I have. I don't deal with personnel really. It's just manufacturing. So in-house part numbers for screws and nuts and washers, or the more descriptive part numbers for some more precision manufacturing shenanigans. I wish more part numbers were descriptive. Unfortunately, they are not. Don't deal with inmate files. Interning at a correctional facility. Well, hopefully... Alright, at least it's a fun mess. I hope the internship goes well. Hopefully that makes for some valuable experience. Let's see. After defeating the Varjager's mech, the spheres that aided in our attack turned back into a box. The girl was also stored inside the box once more.
そう、まさに箱が彼女のストレージだとでも言わんばかりに。まったく女の子を箱に閉じ込めるだなんてどんだけ悪趣味なんでしょう。
It's almost like the box is the girl's storage container. Locking up a girl in a box feels kind of naughty.
それは確かなの？
Is that all true? Well... Well, Commander. We've been watching it happen in cutscenes.
あの時コーラプスストームはすでに止んでいた。視界を遮るものはなかったわ。箱の中の少女、箱の変形、そして攻撃を終え元の形状に戻ったこと、そのどれもが事実よ。
The collapsed storm had already died down back then. My vision was not affected. The girl inside the box, the transformation of the box, and how it reverted to its initial state, it's all true. Listening to everyone's description of the box and its transformation, I have a vague guess.
まさか。
Don't tell me.
メイリンだわ。
Mei Ling has news.
あの子、箱の表面のコーラプス放射性物質を検査して除染してるんじゃなかった？
I thought she's scanning for collapse radiation on the surface of the box and cleaning it up.
メイリンからの報告よ。箱が小刻みに動いているせいで放射性物質を除染できないそうよ。
Mei Ling reports that she can't decontaminate the box as it is vibrating continuously. Wait, hold on. I thought the box only reacted to dolls, not humans. Also, it's interesting to learn that the decontamination process doesn't work if the objects are in motion, vibrating, or at least it's not as effective. I wonder... Community Discord? Oh, yes, I do have a Discord, but I do try to keep it a little bit under wraps, just a little bit. It helps. I'm hoping it helps to keep bots out, but it's not like it's closed doors or anything. It's just I don't keep a link in I don't keep a link always active. So it's always I'm always generating a new one. Let's see.
キャロリック、ネメシス。
Oop.
それからコルフェンは留守番を頼む。グローザ、様子を見に行こう。
Krolik, Nemesis, Colphne, stay here. Groza, come with me.
了解。
Sure.
コルフェンもご一緒してもいいですか？
Colphne's she's being I want to say not pushy, but Adventurous isn't the word I'm looking for either, but it's along those lines. She sort of lost a lot of trust in the end of chapter 2. So her being this forward, but I also want to come. Not sure. Not sure what's going on in her head.
コルフェン、前にも言ったけど、そんな風に話さなくていいのよ。もしかしてポートベストでグローザとの間に何かあったの？
Colphne, I've already told you, you don't have to talk like this. Or did something happen between you and Groza at Portfest?
コルフェン、何かしましたか？コルフェンはただずっと隊長と一緒にいたいだけなんです。
Oh? Did I do something wrong? I just want to stay close to Leader Groza.
グローザ？
些細なことよ。
There's been some minor issues. I'm interested in the fact that Groza is downplaying what Colphne did. Because that was... It was a moment. So for her to downplay it... Hi, Crow. Huh, you know what? You know what? That might be interesting. A Croza mod. We just reskin Groza to... I think Leo did some Rule 63 of you at one point. Wonder how hard it would be to get that modded in.
問題ないわ、指揮官。
I hope you've been having a good morning, I believe? Let's see. Rosa will resolve these minor issues with Colphne. You're just gonna steal Groza's outfit? I think you do already have the cross chest sort of styling. I don't remember if you also have the undershirt. Definitely not definitely not the same color scheme though. Busy but good? I know busy can be good, but as long as you say it's good. I've been having a slow EP1. Rosa's tone is very firm, so I simply nod in response.
わかった。コルフェン、一緒においで。
Good. Come along then, Colphne.
は うございます指揮官。それじゃあ隊長、一緒に行きましょうか。
Thank you, Commander. Let's go, leader. Hmm. You know, I also might be being a little too harsh with Colphne on the basis that this is sort of paramilitary, but at the same time being more mercenary, the command structure might be a little looser, so interpersonal relationships. Down here in the central hub, Mei Ling is trying desperately to place the box into the scanner, except it's vibrating. The box jiggles violently from time to time, refusing to let Mei Ling attach the scanner's mechanical arm to its surface. Okay, so that's why it's being a problem. It's doing that thing that happens in Boktai, where when you have a vampire in a coffin, it will occasionally start shaking. Not enough to stop you from dragging where you need to get it, but enough to cause problems.
Mary?
指揮官、みんな。
Commander, you...
ちょっと、どうしたのそんな顔して。コーラプス放射線がそんなに手強かったの？
What's got you in such a state? Is the decontamination that difficult?
指揮官。
メイリー、どうしたの？
What's wrong?
通信は全然繋がらないし、光合型風車も現れるしで、みんな無事でよかった。
We've lost contact with everyone for so long, then a hybrid Boojum appeared. I'm so glad everyone is okay.
メイリー、泣かないで。あなたのグローザ隊長はこうして目の前に立ってるわけだし、メンテナンス業務がちょっとばかり増えたってだけじゃない。
Then stop crying. Your leader Groza is standing right here in front of you, all safe and sound. She just gave you a bit of maintenance work to do, no?
指揮官。
I raise a hand up to my face and make a zipping gesture.
メイリー、私もみんなも全員無事よ。メイリー、何の問題もないわ。
I, as well as everyone here, are all fine. Everything is going just fine, Mei Ling.
分かってますけど私その
I know, but I just...
メイリンちゃんってばなんて可愛いんでしょ
Mei Ling is so adorable.
う。よしよしよし、泣かない泣かない。
There, there. Have some head pats. Stop crying, okay? That's right. Be a good girl for Colphne. Though, I do now have to wonder, how young is Mei Ling? Because we started off having a big party and drinking a lot of her rice wine stash. So you know what? We are outside of official government territory. We are in sort of lawless areas. She could be underage. Maybe? Or just really young adults with a lot of baggage carried over from her teenage years? Hmm. You're right, we are on the front line with these girls. Welcome in, Clockwork. Hope you've been having a pretty okay day. We are still one node into chapter 3.
無事だったんだ。よかった。
Colphne, you're also okay. Thank goodness. And yes, Crow, you are correct. We are in fact doing a lot of mercenarying. If Mei Ling happens to be underage and drinking, then yeah, that's probably not the worst thing. When you can die at any time, what's a little liver damage? Also, it could be a matter of... Well, no, it's definitely not a matter of water safety. Especially since Mei Ling has her own stash. But supposedly having a bit of alcohol in your drink helps keep harmful bacteria out. Yes, Crow, exactly right. Old enough to fight wars, old enough to drink. If you were old enough to get shot at and shoot back, well, not necessarily shoot back, then yeah, who cares if you have a drink or two, as long as, you know, you don't combine the fighting wars with the drinking alcohol bit. That might be an actual safety issue.
もちろんです。心配かけちゃったみたいですね。
Of course I'm okay. Sorry for making you worry.
泣かないでくださいね。でないと指揮官が困っちゃいますよ。
Now stop crying, or the commander will also worry about you, okay? As Mei Ling continues to weep, the box, which has ceased moving momentarily, resumes its jiggling.
メイリー、ほら、いつまでも泣いてると箱が驚いて変形しちゃうわよ。
Mei Ling, you're going to scare the box if you don't stop crying. See how it's shuddering?
違います。何度も試したんです。でもどうしてもおとなしくしてくれなくて、形質機の上に固定しようとしても勝手に動いて、それで失敗しちゃうんです。
No! I've been trying, but it keeps doing that. Every time I tried to secure it on the scanner, it would twitch, and then the scan would fail.
随分といたずらっ子なのね。
How mischievous.
私の予想が正しければ。
Let's see. If I'm not mistaken... Oh.
あいた。私の証文で。待って。
お前誰？お前誰？お前開けた？そう、お前金髪の後ろ。
Huh. So... I think I mentioned conspiracy shenanigans earlier. Why do I have clearance to open the box? I'm just a courier. Why does the courier have access permission? Somebody needs to fire whoever did the security here. I'm joking. This is pretty clearly some conspiracy shenanigans. Based on what I vaguely remember of the setting of the story, there's probably someone in the government or maybe a paramilitary organization, maybe even a research lab somewhere. There are several research labs that did some research labs that did a lot of work into the manufacture of dolls. So either there's a personal connection to the commander, or somebody out there is using the commander as a pawn in some larger maneuver. How this girl is tied into things, I'm not entirely sure. I want to believe that she's a doll. I don't believe there's a lot of medical technology, or at least there's not enough medical technology that a human girl could be in stasis inside of a box for an extended period of time. Let's see. Yes, you, behind Blondie.
金髪？
Groza is in fact blonde. Blondie? Hearing this strange name, Colphne stifles a laugh and shoots a glance at the vigilant Groza.
我がグローザ隊長に向かってそんな呼び方するだなんて失礼な。この白髪
Wow! How could you address Leader Groza so rudely? Pinky! Pinky! Does this make Colphne bluey? Louis is a character from not Blue's Clues, but there's another children's show. I want to say from the 2010s. Or maybe the late 2000s. But Louis. Cute dog character from a kid's show.
白髪
Oh, she does have pink hair, okay? I was questioning it for a second. There is a bit of a gradient though, and it fades out to white. Which I think, if I remember the cutscene correctly, this is sort of inverted from the commander's color scheme. She might be graying and dyeing her hair, but it was sort of white and then red tips, I believe.
Colphne, 警戒を怠らないで。
Colphne, stay alert.
大丈夫ですよ隊長。メイリンちゃんはこのコルフェンにお任せください。
Relax, leader. I'll take care of Mei Ling. The girl standing before us doesn't seem at all angry at Colphne's provocation. She frowns and points at herself earnestly.
白髪、私？
Pinky, me?
白髪。
Pinky! Pinky!
おお、白髪。
Does she like the nickname?
静かに。
Quiet. Does this make Groza the mom or the older sister in this scenario?
はい隊長。
All right, leader.
罰怖い。
Blondie, snappy.
待って、あなた、私が誰か聞いてるの？
Hold on. Are you asking who I am? I walk up from behind Groza, catching sight of me. The girl tenses up again, warily. The spheres spin, and their muzzles once again point towards us. It's interesting that I can't quite tell from the sprites, but it almost looks like instead of being copper spheres, they are... It's a series of hexagonal prisms or pillars sticking out from a single point. And the sprite just now, one of those, I guess, stems sinks back in, and now this is a clear, or a more clear weapon ready state.
動かない。
No move,
はい。
okay?
お前、箱開けた。誰？
You, who? You opened.
私はこの車両、エルモ号の所有者よ。コルフェ、それからグローザ。つまり、さっきあなたが言っていた金髪の指揮官でもあるわ。
I am Heather, owner of this vehicle known as the Elmo, and the commander of Groza. That's the one you just referred to as Blondie.
そうそう、ゴルフェンの指揮官なんですよ。
And Colphne has to interject. And mine.
コルフェン、その口調はやめて。
Colphne, please drop that tone. Get serious mode, Colphne.
おっと、声が高すぎて耳障りでしたかね。でもコルフェンは本当に嬉しいんですよ。
Nope, she's just going to continue to be a brat. Is it too high-pitched? Is that what's bothering you? But I'm really so happy.
エルムコ、コルフェン、グローザ、金髪、指揮官。
Elmo, Colphne, Groza, Blondie, Commander.
先生、違う？指揮官？
Not teacher? Commander? So was she expecting a teacher?
先生という呼び方は好きじゃないわ。指揮官。やっぱりこっちの方がしっくりくるかな。
I don't like being called teacher. I prefer commander. And I have to wonder if that is a holdover from her military career, or if it's some other connotation. Because, let's see. What was it? I wonder if it's similar to... I think the distinction is One versus Oba. Where you call an older woman, not like explicitly old, but older relative, as I know it's translated as older sister and then auntie, but the familial relationship doesn't necessarily have to be there. It's just a respect thing, almost. Also, hello, Random Bitten. Welcome in. We are being very slow in reading the story while I try to figure out what exactly the language connotations are. What the language connotations are. Why the commander doesn't like being called teacher. Because I don't believe I've heard any sort of backhanded or negative connotations regarding teachers. Oh. Commander, you know, like from command? Is there a pun in there that you could make? Let's see, Because you would have to break Mander down into Man-Ender before you get easily understandable words. Mander brings to mind Minder, but they're not exactly the same. I wonder if there is actually a word root for Mander. Because I remember there's Charmander. So I wonder if there is some sort of meaning. I wonder if there is some sort of meaning in there. Still. Yeah, I won't stress too much about it. It's not like I don't make those jokes it's not like I don't make those jokes myself every now and then. The girl points at Colphne. She's learning! Then she points at me and Groza. Blondie, Groza, Elmo, Commander?
エルモ号というのはこの車の名前ですよ。キンパじゃなくて、それとはまた違うんです。
The Elmo. That's the name of this vehicle. It's not a nickname like Blonde. You know, I forgot. Is the Elmo painted red? I doubt that it's painted red. If it is painted red, it's probably more a maroon. Something dark, something faded. Not a bright saturated red like Elmo. Taking so long on one chapter node that Seribot's telling me to go take a break. The girl gradually relaxes as the conversation continues. The three spheres are still hovering around her, but the firing ports have closed, and they show no signs of aggression. The threat has subsided, but Mei Ling still huddles at the back of the group. Groza lowers her gun slightly, and Colphne tries to approach the girl. These Pinky has a quick draw. Colphne, stay back. Watch it. The girl is spooked. She jumps back. The three spheres are once again on attack mode and aiming straight at us. Colphne freezes in her tracks while Groza raises her weapon instantly. The girl watches us cautiously and tries to communicate. Not teacher, commander. I'm not arguing with Seribot. I'm just trying to get to a good stopping point. Clearly I need to focus. Clearly I need to read faster. Commander teacher? Oh, you know, like Fuhrer King Bradley? Just commander. 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 Commander can open? So I guess this touches back towards what I was saying earlier. This is, I wonder if her thought process is going, does a commander in general have an authority? Does a commander have the authority required to open the box? Does a commander have permission to open the box and be someone that she listens to?
開けられる？
Open?
かつては箱の形をしていて、今私に照準を向けているこのボールのことを指しているんだとしたら、開けたのは確かに私よ。
If you're asking if I opened what used to be a box but are now spheres pointing their muzzles at me, then yes, I did.
開ける。どうやって？
Opened? How? You know, there was also a moment before everyone came down into this area where the commander was pondering something regarding the box. And then I'm pretty sure she intentionally put her hand on the box. Whether that was to examine it more closely, or if she was trying to see if it would scan her palm, I can't say.
わからない。
I don't know.
以前、これと似たようなストレージ装置を見たことがある。起動の仕方は酷似してるけど、形状は全く異なるわ。まさか、ここでまたお目にかかれるなんてね。しかも私の証文が鍵になっていたとは。
I've seen a storage container of the same kind before. It behaved quite similarly when opened, but it looked totally different. I didn't expect I could open this box in the exact same way. Even my handprint happened to be its key? I have to wonder what storage container she's talking about. The only one that comes to mind for me is M16's big box. Unfortunately, I have not gone through the story of the First Girls Frontline before, so I have no idea what's going on there. I think the most that I saw was M4 carrying around the box in an alternate version.
指揮官、空前じゃないと思います。開発はそこまで難しくありませんけど、この種の技術を応用してる設備は特定の情報にだけ反応するようになってるんです。
Commander, it couldn't have been a coincidence. The tech may not be particularly advanced, but this kind of equipment would only react to very specific biodata. Not particularly advanced. Okay, to be fair, they are in 2074. They are in the future. They have androids all over. Having a handprint, a palm scanner, not totally far-fetched. The fact that it was a box for this girl and the box then turned into weapons, that is a bit more advanced. Also, Also, there's the sensor surface. Because it didn't look like there was a specific area that was meant to be a scanning surface. So the whole of the box, maybe, was able to scan?
指揮官に開けられたということは、もしかするとこれが私じゃなくて、これは。
Oh, Mei Ling. Mei Ling, I feel you. I feel you. If you can open it, then maybe, No, that can't be. It's...
指揮官の証文がこの箱を開ける鍵としてあらかじめ登録されていたということね。
Your handprint may have been imported as the key to open the box.
はい、その可能性が高いです。
But imported by who and when? Yes, that's probably it.
指揮官ってばそんなにすごい方だったんですね。この依頼を命じられたってことはやっぱり。
And Colphne's right. The contract was suspiciously targeted at us. There were other people that could have taken it, but they all backed out for one reason or another. Or something like that.
目をつけられたってわけだね、指揮官。
Oh wait, did I read that last? Oh. Aren't you something, Commander? The fact that the contract came to you really means someone's got their eye on you, Commander.
例えばあなたとかに
Someone like you, perhaps?
そうかもしれません。
You're not wrong. The girl seems a little disgruntled for being ignored. She directs the spheres to change position and aim at me. Oh, yeah, sure. Just, instead of raising your hand, just point weapons at people. That's sure to get their attention. Rose's grip on her gun tightens as I come under threat. To the side, Colphne also stares at the girl in silence.
お前、指揮官聞いた。開ける、どうやって。
You, Commander, I asked. Opened. How?
私にもわからないの。けど、もしあなたの周囲を回ってる球体を検査できたら、もっと詳しい情報が手に入るかもしれない。
I told you, I don't know how I managed to open the box, but we may be able to learn something more by scanning these spheres around you. Also, it's interesting that there's 2 in the sprite, but she's supposed to have 3.
検査。
Oh, and she seems receptive to the idea of scanning the spheres.
知ってる。指揮官指揮官。実験室どこ。
Scan. I understand. Commander Commander, lab, where?
実験室？この球体を調べるだけだから実験室に行く必要はないわよ。でしょ、メリン。
Lab? We're just scanning the spheres. We don't need a lab. We can do it right here. Mei Ling? To be fair, it may be necessary to get more finely tuned scanning equipment or more specialized equipment to scan them, which may be what the girl is thinking of, versus our more ruggedized and field worth and field use scanners.
機材を取ってきます。
I'll go get the equipment.
お
Oh, basic function calibration test. Okay, this is starting to get concerning. Because she's calling this a calibration test, so she was in a lab situation under scrutiny, probably. And she was made to do tests frequently, maybe? I don't know.
検査や実験室について詳しいのね。
You seem to know a lot about scans and labs. Something. Oh, the trope role, the stereotype of lab experiment, has then been set free or escaped. That is what's coming to mind ever so slightly. Also, I just noticed her hair right here. Hopefully it shows up on screen or on stream. But just in front of her shoulders, to either side of her face, extending below her chin, these sort of look like wings. Which I don't believe is intentional in the sense that she's supposed to have wings or some fantastic design in that in that direction. It may just be stylized hair, but they're looking very feathery.
指揮官、詳しいと違う？
Commander doesn't know a lot about scans and labs.
一般人は検査や実験室のことなんて知らないのが普通よ。
Ordinary people don't tend to be too familiar with such things.
詳しい、メイリー。
Mei Ling knows.
ああ、メイリンは一般人じゃないから。
Mei Ling isn't ordinary.
聞こえてますよ。
Commander, I heard that.
ああ、ごめんメイリー。検査を頼むわ。なんだったっけ？
That's right, Mei Ling. You aren't ordinary. You are exceptional. Or what's another word? Outstanding. I mean no offense. Mei Ling, please perform the scan. She apparently likes the name Pinky.
白髪のお嬢さん、どうかメイリンにご協力いただくよう、この球体たちに伝えてはもらえませんか？
Miss Pinky, could you please gather these spheres so that Mei Ling can run the scan?
あ、メイリー、試験。うわ
Mei Ling, test.
白髪さん、まずはこの球体を床から1メートルの高さに固定していてもらえますか？私の前方の位置で構いませんので。
Miss Pinky, please have the spheres hover about a meter above the floor, just in front of me. Mei Ling puts down her instruments and assembles them into a cylindrical device. The girl cooperates, and the spheres drift into the device one by one.
よし、空間位置計測完了。対象は計測範囲内です。
Spatial scan completed. Subject is within scan parameters.
表層物質の分析開始完了。主要構成物質のうちクロムが 19%、 マンガンが 9%、 ニッケルが 5%。 固定を試みます。よし、固定可能です。
Attempting to analyze the subject's composition. Analysis completed. Main composition includes 19% chromium, 9% manganese, 5% nickel. Attempting to secure object. Subject secured. So about 33% of the 33% of the object's compositions are of the object composition is known, leaving a further 67 that is unknown.
データ接続同期中機能確認アクセス開始
Importing data, synchronizing, confirming function, accessing.
計測に失敗アクセスを拒否されました
Scan unsuccessful, access denied. Spooked by the alarm, the girl immediately moves the spheres out of the scanning device. They orbit around the girl, but this time they show no sign of wanting to shoot us.
失敗失敗
Let's see. Also, access denied. So there's some active defense against scanning here. Unsuccessful.
ア
Failed.
クセス権限が足りていないの？
Maybe we need higher clearance?
かもしれません SVTC 型検査設備を探さなきゃどこに置いたんだっけ休憩室それとも倉庫かな
It's possible I may need my SVTC type scanner. Where did I put it again? The dormitory? Or is it in the storeroom? Did I leave it under the kitchen table? Probably not in the kitchen.
アクセス権限を入手するだけでいいのなら私に任せてもらえないかしら指揮官メイリー設備は次の点検時に探せばいいわ
If all you need is access clearance, I can give it a shot, Commander. Mei Ling, just look for the scanner and archive it next time you do an inventory check on our equipment.
メンタル A 社を利用してセカンダリーレベルからデータフローにアクセスするつもりね。
You're planning to connect to the data stream through neural projection on level 2? So... Neural projection, I wonder if that's something that was played with more in Project Neural Cloud, I believe. Rosa's gonna go Tron inside the inside the spheres, I think. Is how to describe this.
ええ
わかった。くれぐれも気をつけて。
Alright, just be careful.
コル
Oop.
承知しました
Colphne, inform Nemesis and Krolik. Tell them to give Groza a hand. No problem.
再検査だけ
More tests? Is she starting to get a little bit apprehensive with continued testing?
ご協力願うわ
Is she scared of more intensive, invasive tests? As Groza asks, please cooperate. The timid girl blinks. Then, after coming to some unknown realization, she smiles again. Oops. Okay. She agrees pretty readily. And now, 1 hour and 23 minutes in. Maybe even longer. No, about 1 hour 23 minutes. I go to take a break. And also, 1 hour 23 minutes. Oops. 1 hour 23 minutes for one story node. Let me just put some music on, and we can go have ourselves a little bit of a break. If I can, studio mode, and actually turn on the radio. Oop, don't unlock it. There we go. Please enjoy the music. I will be taking a little break. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. It's getting a little late, but I think I do have time for at least one more story node. Well, not story node. This is actually a combat node. It shouldn't actually be all that long, but we'll see. I'm not sure I'll make it through the... I think that was a story node that came right after this. Looks like the firewall of this device is weak. We can breach it. Commander, we've successfully connected to level 2. The current infiltration process has been visually simulated. The enemy units on the battlefield represent the defense programs we need to break through. Next, we need to eliminate them to gain system permissions. Commander, please give the order. Are you sure about that, Groza? Are you sure you want me to take command for what is most likely a hacking operation? Oh, automatic action sequence. Let's see, let's... Yeah, here we go. Forgot that the automatic action sequence was something that I could set. Let's see. To get through here, you have to find a way to lower this cover. Looks pretty obvious, the switch right in front of it. Commander, the remote switch that I just talked about that controls this cover's movement is right next to us. So it's really similar to dealing with elevators. Oh, game. You know, maybe I will have time to do one more story node. Not even 5 minutes. I think, maybe?
みんな警戒を怠らないで。安全に帰還するまでは気を抜けないわ。
Alright, let's give it a go. One story node. The Elmo is suddenly abuzz with activity. Rosa stands silently before the central console. Who knows what is going through her mind? In the ops room, Krolik is standing near the main terminal, staring at the projection screen in boredom. Hearing the whoosh of the sliding door, she turns around to look at us.
Oh, 指揮官、さっき。どっから湧いたのよ、その白髪頭は。
Oh, Commander, where did this pinky come from? Oh, Krolik, You... I guess I don't have to worry about you getting along with Colphne.
巨大な雲呼応し合う
Large clouds answering the call. Oh, does she have a somewhat fond expression here? Not bond, fond. Fond. Really?
んあんたじゃないわよ。
I wasn't talking to you. I don't... I mean, Nemesis does have pink accents. I think they show up more lavender on her sprite. Her 3D sprite, or 3D model, I should say.
帰還改変おのおのの世代の生物
Return, change. Creatures of all epochs? Epochs? No, I think it's epoch. Yeah, there we go. Captions can sometimes get things right. Sometimes captions help. They let you know when you say something's right, maybe sometimes. Oh. Oh,
お呼び
allergy
じゃないって言
season.
ってるでしょ。それとも何あんた白髪頭って名前だったわけ？
I told you, I wasn't talking to you. Do I ever call you Pinky? Do you ever answer to that? Oh, there we go. Wait, were her eyes yellowish or golden before? Because I can very faintly see the pink there. And this attitude, I wonder if she wants a nickname? Maybe the flowery language is a communication bug? And she wants to be a little bit more casual? I don't know.
白髪私
Pinky, me.
キャロリック、ネメシス。この子が今回運搬することになった箱の中の少女よ。
Krolik, Nemesis. This is our mission objective. The girl inside the box.
なら、あの変形して攻撃してた箱は？
So where's her shape-shifting box that shoots people? Transformers? Robots in disguise?
メイリンの下で検査中よそれが終われば報告書が上がってくるはず
It's with Mei Ling. She's trying to scan it. Once the scan is complete, she will submit a report.
うさぎ怖い
Funny. Snappy.
は？
Yeah, Krolik is a little bit abrasive. A little bit abrasive. The girl draws back in fear. Colphne jumps forward and hugs the girl. She pats her on the back and tries to soothe her.
大丈夫ですよキャロリックちゃんは見た目はおっかないけどとってもいい人なんですよ
Don't be scared. Krolik may look scary, but she's a lovely person.
だったらなんだって言うのよ。
That's none of your business. That's right. Be more tsundere.
キャロリックいい人
Krolik, lovely person. Uh, need to go back, Commander. Does... I wonder if she's saying she needs to go back to the commander or back into the box.
メイリンの検査がもう少しかかりそうなの。検査を終えたら球体は返してあげるから。
I guess we're interpreting it as the latter. Mailing's scan will take some time. The spheres will be returned to you once the scan is done.
おや白髪ちゃん、もしかして箱の中に戻りたいんですか？亀さんみたいに。
Same brain cell. Miss Pinky, do you want to withdraw back into your box like a tortoise?
でも箱に戻ったところで危険は一人でに消えたりしませんよ。
But even if you do, the danger won't just disappear on its own, you know.
亀。
Tortoise!
そうそう。
Yep.
亀、何？
Oh, you poor sheltered child. Tortoise. What?
何って亀が？
What's a tortoise? Mm-hmm.
亀は硬い甲羅を持つ卵生の爬虫類のことですよ。そのうちのほとんどは危険を察知すると甲羅に手足をすぼめるんです。
Tortoise. Tortoise is a kind of egg-laying reptile with a hard shell. They tend to retract their limbs into their shell when in danger.
私
Me, I.
あなたは亀じゃない。そういえば名前を聞くのを忘れていたわね。
You're not a tortoise. I forgot to ask. What is your name? I almost want to see her getting drawn in a tortoise costume or getting tortoise themed plushies now. I'm also vaguely reminded of one of the enemies in the first girl's Frontline. Her name was Architect, I believe. During one event, if you collected all of the event dorm room decorations, I believe, Architect would show up in a shark onesie. And therefore, she was Sharkitect. Not Shark Attacked. Her name is Architect, and she's a shark. Therefore, Sharkitect. Hi, Kazuki. Welcome in. I'm just working my way through another story bit. I hope you've been having a good day. Also reminiscing on previous title in the series and some summer event fun.
名前
You've been having a nice day? I've been having a better day. I think I'm better than I was at the start of stream, but that may also be the Dr. Pepper I was sipping at. Let's see. Name?
あなたを何と呼べばいいのかしら。
How would you like to be addressed?
知ら
She wants to be called Pinky?
白髪じゃないでしょ。
That's not your name. That's not your name either.
名前わからない。
Name. Cannot recall. And I'm still not 100% sure if she's supposed to be a doll or a human. I'm pretty sure she's a doll. And supposedly, in verse, you're supposed to be able to tell dolls apart from humans pretty easily. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how people tell.
指揮官、いいヘレナ O43 です。球体内部のデータフローすべてにこの二次解析を必要とする識別コードが刻まれています。
E. Helena 043. This identification number that needs to be decoded twice is engraved all over the data stream inside the spheres, Commander. The sliding door opens and Mei Ling walks into the ops room. The spheres follow behind her and drift over to the girl. Ignoring the spheres, the girl suddenly grows agitated.
O43 と違う。
Not 043. That was probably... something like a... experimental ID number. It would be... I can sort of imagine that she was a test subject, and she was referred to as 043, and not treated kindly during that.
名前、私、名前、O43、違う。
Name. My name is not 043. Sensing her agitation, the spheres stop their transformation and once again train their muzzles on me. Rosa and Krolik immediately position themselves between me and the girl. Nemesis also comes forward. Colphne, on the other hand, remains still and simply observes.
指揮官、
Commander,
彼女の話を聞こう。
wait, let's hear her out.
私、わからない。
I don't know.
O43、ダメ。
043. No.
ならヘレナはどう？
What if we call you Helena?
ヘレナ？
Helena? How does that sound?
ヘレナ。私、
ヘレナ。
私、名前、ヘレナ。
My name. Helena. Did her... I don't know if she's supposed to be looking thoughtful here, or if she's starting to zone out.
彼女を休ませてあげて、コルフェン。
I guess it's the latter. She's starting to zone out. She's getting tired, maybe? She did mention earlier that she wanted to go back into the box, or alluded to that. And every other time that we've seen her in action, she would act and then immediately go back into the box.
了解です、指揮官。
Did I read that last line? I don't think I did. Take her somewhere she can get some rest, Colphne. No problem, Commander.
それじゃあ休憩しましょうか。十分にリラックスするといいですよ。さあ、コルフェンと一緒に。
Come, let's make sure that you get some rest. It's a good idea to let your body relax. Come with me.
ヘレナちゃん、 休憩
Rest. Yeah, she's really starting to zone out. I wonder if that I wonder if she was already moving in that direction or if her name triggered it. Ignoring the spheres that are now aimed at her, Colphne pats Helena lightly on the back.
そうですよ。ほら、休憩室はこっちですからね。
That's right. Come on, the dorm is right this way.
私の
My
球体は連れて行っていいわ。ただし箱の形でね。
You can take your spheres, but they need to turn back into a box.
でも持てない。
But can't pick up. Look at her skinny arms. Actually, to be fair, I think everyone's arms are kind of skinny. If I remember right. Colphne's are also pretty skinny.
今さっきこの球体は私たちを脅かした。球体を武装形態のまま持ち歩きたいという意見については賛同しかねる。
Those spheres are a threat. If you insist on keeping them in an armed state, you can't take them with you.
あの子脅かす違う。私はただ状態以上。
They... no threat. I just... special circumstances.
あなたにはもう一つ選択肢がある。
Or, here's an alternative.
メイリンに敵味方識別システムを書き換えてもらうの。この車両に乗っている全員を敵とみなさないのであれば、球体は好きにしていい。どんな形に変形させようと構わないわ。
Let Mei Ling overwrite their IFF system. You can keep these spheres and have them take whatever shape you want if they no longer perceive people on board this vehicle as foes.
わかった。指揮官。
Yes, Commander. Okay. Wait, do we even have... do we have the security clearance necessary? Well... we did hack into them pretty easily. So we should be able to overwrite the IFF.
不可試験。大丈夫。
Additional test. I accept. Helena's change seems rather abrupt. After watching her carefully, I nod.
メイリンが調整を終えたら、球体はすぐに返してあげるからね。
Once Mei Ling is done calibrating the spheres, they will be returned to you.
コルフェン、
わかりました。ヘレナちゃん、休憩室には美味しい食べ物がたくさんあって、なんとゲームまでできちゃうんですよ。
Gotcha. Helena, there's tasty food and fun games at the dormitory. Colphne guides Helena, who is still eyeing her spheres anxiously, towards the exit. The sliding door opens and Helena is escorted out of the ops room.
コルフェン、彼女に全面的な検査を。
Colphne, run a full scan on her. Hopefully that's a radio transmission?
コルフェン、必ずや達成してみせます。
I'll make sure to do what you ask me to.
これ、私本当に嬉しいんですよ。ここに残って指揮官やメイリンちゃんやメンバーのみんなと一緒にいることができて。 だから指揮官
I'm so very happy that I get to stay here with you, Mei Ling, and everyone else. So, Commander,
検査結果の内容を後でコルフェンにも教えてもらえませんか？
if you find anything important from the scan, make sure to tell me as well, okay?
情報が行き渡らないのはいい傾向とは言えませんよ。何事も一致団結しませんと。
It's not a good habit to hide information. We'll be fighting as a team after all.
そのコルフェ重要な情報はグローザから伝えるわ。
Colphne. Groza will fill you in.
それじゃあクローザ隊長よろしくお願いしますね。
And sorry to trouble you, Leader Groza.
わかったわ。
Sure. Colphne smiles and also leaves the ops room. Wait. So when Helena was escorted out of the ops room, that was just Colphne pushing her out into the hall? That seems a little bit irresponsible. Just a little bit. Alright, and Sari's telling me to take another break. After this story, I'll probably call it a night. Let's see, and I did read that line. Colphne smiles and also leaves the ops room.
隊長大丈夫ですか？
Leader, is everything alright with you?
ええ。ごめんなさい、指揮官。
Yes. Sorry about that, Commander.
ポートベストで意見の食い違いでもあったの？
Did you have a disagreement at Port Vest?
食い違いとまではいかないわ。彼女、混合型ブージャムを前にしたとき、キャロリックを諦めて撤退するべきだと言い出したの。
Just a difference of opinion. When we were faced with the hybrid type Bujum, things got desperate. She insisted on leaving Krolik behind and retreating. Okay, so this is finally coming to light. Commander is getting read into the situation.
作戦報告のどの時間帯？
What's the timestamp in the mission report?
1930前後よ。
Around 1930, so 7:30 in the evening. I accessed the mission report that Groza has submitted previously on my tablet.
1930。あなたの作戦報告の記述から見れば、彼女の選択は確かに合理的ね。
Based on the circumstances described in your report, her suggestion actually made more sense. Okay, so... Interesting. I wonder if Commander is speaking from military experience, well, paramilitary, mercenary experience? Or maybe Rosa is attached to people? Maybe? I don't know. Rosa stares into space without looking at me, then lowers her eyes.
その後、1954に彼女は戻ってきた。そして BHB2 ポイントに残っていた爆薬を起爆させ、混合型ブージャムの注意を引きつけてくれたの。私たちが移動できるだけの時間を稼ぐためにね。
Then she returned at 1954 and succeeded in drawing the Bujam's attention by detonating the explosives left at points B1 and B2, buying us a small amount of time to move.
1957混合型ブージャムが消失。
The Bujum vanished at 1957. So 3 minutes later. And Colphne was gone for about 24 minutes. Silence amidst the waves. A distant light wreathed in evergreen laurel.
ネメシスが言うには、あのデカブツの注意を爆発でそらせなければ、3分後には全員素体を交換する羽目になってたらしいわよ。あそこで消えてなかったら確かに危なかった。そっちもかなりの損傷だったらしいわね、隊長。
Nemesis says that if it hadn't been for the explosions that drew that thing's attention, everyone's body would have been a write-off. If that thing hadn't disappeared on its own, I really wouldn't have lasted till you got to me. You were also in such dire straits, huh, leader? Yeah, I have no idea how Krolik got that out of what Nemesis said. Destruction. The unreachable abyss.
誰が無能だってのよ、ネメシス。隊長と同じチームのくせして、こっぴどくやられてるようなやつに言われたかないわね。
Who are you calling useless? It would have been game over for you as well, and you were with leader.
クローザ、あなたがどう解決するつもりかは知らないけど、コルフェンに情報をシェアするときに、試してみたらどう？
Rosa, I don't know how you're planning to resolve your differences, but do make an effort when you share the scan results with Colphne, okay?
そうね。
I will. Rosa stands rooted to the spot, her face calm and serene. Nemesis and Krolik are still bickering in the back. The atmosphere is rather tense and uneasy for a moment. So, Commander, my report?
メリー、検査結果の報告を頼む。
Mei-Ling, report your findings. Okay. After checking the report in her hands one last time, Mei-Ling comes forward. She walks up to the main terminal and plugs her tablet into the Elmo's system. The report is projected onto the screen. Also, it looks like we have a little bit of terrain data. Not sure what to make of the scan, other than it's displaying one of the pointy bits, the hexagonal rods that make up those spheres.
アクセス権限は取得できましたが、この球体、すなわち箱のシステム内に残存していたデータの大部分はすでにパージされています。データの修復を試みましたが、入手できた情報はわずかです。
Although we've managed to obtain access clearance, most of the data in the spheres, the box's internal system, have already been purged. I've tried to restore the data, but not much information can be gleaned from what survived.
球体が箱に変形するメカニズムを分析してみたところ、この箱、正確に言えばこのシステムは箱の中のものに付属する一種の防御システムだということが分かりました。
It performs a comprehensive analysis on the box sphere transformation mechanism. This box is a system of defense that works in conjunction with its contents.
ただ、この箱にしまわれていたもの、つまりヘレナさんなんですが、彼女が自己意志を有していることから、 この防御システムは基礎的な敵味方判別を行う以外にヘレナさんの意識を判定条件として取り入れているようです。
It's just that the contents of the box, meaning Miss Helena, she is self-aware, so on top of the basic IFF system, the box also acts on Miss Helena's thoughts. Nemesis falls silent, ending the back and forth between her and Krolik. Krolik also redirects her attention to Mei Ling's report.
ってことは、あの白髪頭。
In other words, Pinky. Does Nemesis also want to be cute and nicknamed?
はいはいはい、ヘレナね。あいつが危険だと感じたやつを、あのボールどもに攻撃させてたわけ？
Okay. Helena will make those balls shoot at whoever she perceives to be a threat?
そうです。
Yes.
ヘレナさんの意志の影響がない状態、つまりヘレナさんに意識がない、もしくは意識が混濁している状況下においては防御システムは箱の中のもの、すなわちヘレナさんに近づく脅威を自動的に攻撃するようになっています。
When the box receives no input from Miss Helena, that is, if she is unconscious or in a confused state, the defense system will automatically attack any threats that approach the box, meaning Miss Helena.
いくつかの状況をシミュレートしてみました。現段階における結論としては、射撃管制コアを搭載している人形、火器類を持つ対象は全て脅威だと判断し、攻撃反応を起こしているようです。
I've run a few simulations to test out the system. The working hypothesis is that any doll with a fire control core and anyone wielding a hot weapon will be designated as a threat, and the defense system will act accordingly.
それからこの前、グローザ隊長が発見した特殊信号についてですが、
Which brings us to the special signal that Leader Groza discovered before.
この防御システムは低消費モードである箱形態になると特殊な周波数帯を発生させ、箱の中身の状態をスキャン並びに監視するようになるんです。逆に高効率モードである旧形態になると攻撃時に高い周波を発し、一定範囲内の全通信を遮断することができます。
This defense system will generate a special frequency band to scan and monitor the status of its contents when it is in box form, running on low power mode. When operating on high power mode in sphere form, it will release a high frequency band when attacking, blocking all communications within a certain range.
敵味方識別を書き換えてジャミング装置を改造してみてはどう？
Is it possible to reprogram the IFF system and install a signal jammer?
可能ではあります。時間はかかりますが、その
Yes, but it will take some time.
他に何か報告が？
Anything else to report?
報告とまではいかないんですけど、指揮官、この防御システムは非常に高度な技術によって作られています。おそらく昨年からグリーンエリアに普及し始めたエリア製対コーラプス放射線警戒装置を大きく上回るかと。多分かなり手強い相手になると思われます。
See. Not exactly, Commander. This defense system is extremely technologically advanced. More advanced than even the regional radiation warning system popularized in green zones last year. We may be up against someone who's big trouble.
相手が誰であれ、品物を手に入れた上に開封までしてしまったのよ。たとえ私がここで手放そうと、敵が見過ごすとは思えない。
No matter who they are, the contract is now in my hands, and the cargo has been unsealed. Even if I back out now, they won't necessarily let me off the hook. Rosa, who has been silently listening to the report on the side, walks up to Mei Ling. She helps Mei Ling unplug her tablet from the main terminal and transfers the report to her own tablet.
隊長、私今すぐ報告書をお送りします。
Oh, leader, I'm going to send the report to you right away.
メイリン、みんなここにいるわ。新しいメンバーも加入したことだし、依頼に関しては心配しなくていいのよ。
Mei Ling, we're all here, and now that we have new members joining us, we will be able to complete this job.
はい。皆さん、皆さんを信じてます。
Right. I believe in you all. Also, this little bit of shadow right here, just between this lock of hair and the hair trailing down the side of her face, it makes me think that Mei Ling has blush stickers.
そうでした。指揮官、この防御システムの内部から密封されたチューブが見つかりました。今は空ですけど、何かしらの液体が入っていた形跡があります。
Oh, right. Commander, I found a thin, airtight tube hidden inside this defense system. It's now empty, but it looks like it had previously contained some kind of liquid.
あらゆる方法を試してみましたが、とてつもなく頑丈でして、どうにかしてチューブ内の残留物を採取する必要があるかと。もしかしたら面倒な類の薬剤なのかも。
I've made multiple attempts to cut through it and extract some residue, but they were all unsuccessful. It's possibly some really nasty chemical.
面倒なんかじゃありませんよ。単なる麻酔ですから。
It's not nasty at all. It's just anesthetic. Colphne, when did you get back? Also, how do you know what was in that tube?
それにしても怯えてる子供をなだめるのって本当に骨が折れますね。でもコルフェン、ちゃんと検査を終えてきましたよ、指揮官。
But comforting an anxious child is so much trouble. Still, I did complete the scan on her, Commander.
お疲れ様。ヘレナのエリット感染状況は？
Thank you. So, what is the extent of Helena's Elid infection? That is new to me, I think.
まったくもって正常そのものですね。
She is completely infection free. Dr. Colphne is making the bold declaration. I wonder if being infection free means Helena is highly valuable as someone who can be a source for antibodies against the infection.
麻酔の影響で長い間昏睡状況にあったようで、徐々に目を覚まし始めたのはごく最近ですね。ヘレナさんの検査報告には極めて健康な人類としか書かれていないようですよ。
Also, we get confirmation. Helena is human. The anesthetic has been keeping her unconscious for a very long time, so she only woke up not long ago. But according to the scan result, Miss Helena is a totally healthy human being.
まさか完全免疫体。
A fully immune individual?
その可能性は高いわね。
That's the strongest possibility by the looks of it.
完全免疫体って？
Thank you, Krolik. What's a fully immune individual?
コーラップス放射線に対し完全な免疫を持つ人間のことよ。
A human who's completely immune to collapse radiation.
相関する研究はすでに20年前から始まってはいたけど、まさか完全な個体の製造に成功していたなんてね。
Research in this field began some 20 years ago, but have they already succeeded in creating a fully immune specimen? Okay, Commander, do you have any secrets to tell us, or is this just a hearsay that you happen to pick up over time?
なのか、それとも、もしくは箱の変形技術は確かに彼らのものよ。でも完全免疫体なんてもの。
Commander, please share with the class. Yes, or could it be? The transfiguration tech of the box may be theirs, but something like a fully immune individual.
は？なのか？それとも？なんなの一体？
Huh? Yes? Or? What on earth are you talking about, Commander?
私にもわからない。麻酔はすでに消耗し終えたという情報を見るに、今の状況は先方にとっても予想だにしない事態なのかもしれない。
I'm not entirely sure either, but based on the fact that the anesthetic has run out, I'm guessing our current course is outside the client's anticipated plan as well. Alternatively, the plan was to have Helena wake up partway through for whatever reason.
安全な場所に着いたら依頼人に連絡して、より多くの情報が手に入るか試してみよう。
Once we reach a safe location, we'll contact the client who made this commission and see if we can find out more.
さっきの浄化エリアへ戻る必要は？
Should we return to Purification Zone W2069-0105? Oh. So, Purification Zone... I don't know the letter code, but it's the year 2069, most likely January 5th. I think that's a pretty sensible naming scheme, at least for a temporary designation.
確かにあそこは安全よ。けど、我が親愛なるウラジーミル獣医が新たなサプライズを準備していないとも限らない。ポートベストはもうコリゴリよ。
That is indeed pretty safe. But who knows what other surprises my dear warrant officer Vladimir has in store for me. I don't want to repeat Port Vest all over again.
あそこの生き袋がおとなしく。
I just hope the Elids over there will stay put, as an alarm interrupts us.
大量の生き袋が接近中。脅威レベルは3以下。ポートベストの混合型ブージャムに引き寄せられてきた奴らよ。目標が消失したことにより行き場を失ったんだわ。
A large number of Elids approaching. Threat level below 3. They must have started congregating at Port Vest due to the emergence of the hybrid-type Bujum. Now that the Bujum has disappeared, they're spilling out to the nearby areas.
作戦準備に取り掛かる。メリー、ウラジーミル獣医にことづけを。近日中はむやみに出かけるなと忠告しておいて。
Prepare to engage. Mei Ling, send Vladimir a message. Tell him not to go running around for a while. Okay.
各員、10分後に戦闘開始。
All combat units. Battle will commence in 10 minutes. 10 days. I will not be continuing in 10 minutes. I will actually be calling it a night here, whereupon we will pick up. You know, I don't know when I'm going to stream again, but I do know where we're going now that I'm ending. Thanks to everyone who dropped in. Hope you had a good time. If you are still around, we can go actually visit Agumi. She is still online. I wonder, am I spelling her name right? Yeah! Alright, I hope everyone has a good night. Time to get spooked by Silent Hill. Bye now.